Hey YouTube, it's your girl Chic from Chic Say What. Listen, I want to come on tonight to talk about our boy Nick Cannon. He doing a lot, y'all. He doing a lot. So I want to come on and talk about him and his forever growing family. So there's a couple of things I want to get into, the new baby that's on its way, the feelings that the most recent baby mama has, the mother of the child who unfortunately passed away not that long ago. I think maybe in December, his baby may have passed away. So I want to get into all that. But before we get started, for those of you who are on the live in real time, welcome to the party. Welcome to the party, Starlights. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. Because as I say, we real random over here. But one thing for sure, we do get into it. So we will get into what's going on in the Cannon world. Like I said, he got a lot going on. He got so much going on to where even the therapist is like, bruh, you doing the most. You doing the most. So I want to come out here and just talk about him. And for those of you who are on the live, please engage. Let me know your thoughts. Am I the only one out here who feeling like he is doing the absolute most? The absolute most. To me, I feel like Nick is having these kids. You know how you have this bucket list, or like he already know when his expiration date is, and it's like he trying to get it in before May 1st, because it's like that excuse me, that's like a excuse me, a deadline of him having to accomplish certain things. To me, I'm just feeling this vibe of something is just got him just feeling really rushed to just try to do some things, and which includes having a lot of kids. So you know how we do over here. I'm going to share my screen and I want to get into this article. You know what? When I saw it, let me just share my screen so y'all can see this mess, because, as they say, you can't make this stuff up. Okay. I think y'all can see my screen. Listen, so this is on yahoo.com. This article reads, Nick Cannon said his therapist recommended a break from sex after he found out he had an 8th child on the way. Listen, can you imagine the tone when Nick showed up to his next appointment, and then they were like, so, what's been going on since the last time, we met? Well, doc, I got another baby on the way. Like, I'm sure that therapist probably needed to have a drink. Like right then, he or she probably were like, listen, pause, because like I said, he's doing the most. And if even the therapists think that he needs to have several seats, then the rest of the world is looking at him side-eyed. So let's get into this article. It's dated February 1st, 2022. So this is Nick Cannon looking normal, but probably anything but. So it says in 2021, Nick Cannon said his therapist suggested he become celibate after having 4 kids in a year. When the news broke this week that he has another baby on the way, Cannon clarified the timing. He said the celibacy journey began when he privately told his therapist about this latest pregnancy. Nick Cannon clarified the timing of his celibacy journey as he announced he was fathering baby number 8, saying he began trying to abstain from sex after finding out about this latest pregnancy, not before. Let's see. I had a pop up on my screen. I don't need no problems. I want to get through this article. On Monday, the TV personality confirmed the news of his upcoming 8th child with model Bree, Tizy, on his talk show, The Nick Cannon Show. The host also joked that he was starting his own football team, referencing the fact that he has 7 children with 4 women. I'm just tired just from even reading the article talking about all that Nick got going on. 2 much. And then here's the thing. Here's another thing, just food for thought. In order to impregnate a woman, for him to impregnate a woman, for the woman to be able to become pregnant, we ain't using no protection. So if Nick running around slinging his thing to the east, south, northwest, like, that's just dangerous for all parties involved, because clearly, he's not having these babies with just one woman. He's saying already between 4 women. So he's taking whatever it is that he's taken from one woman, and then he's taking it over to the house of the other woman. So just that part alone just is disturbing, to where I don't even understand, as far as with these women, what kind of thought process they're having when it comes to laying down with this man and having unprotected sex, knowing, because the world knows. My thing is, when you're dealing with Nick Cannon, like, it ain't no surprise. Like, you might have some people, Lisa might be like, oh, I didn't know he was for the streets. I didn't know he had all them kids. Listen, you can't even say that with Nick Cannon, because his business is all over Extra, ETV, BET, MTV, CNN, Fox News. Like, Nick is everywhere. So there is no excuse for you to not know what this man is all about. At this point, when you're choosing to lie down with him, you know what's up, and you just don't care. You just don't care. So let's get back to this article. Back in 2021, October 2021, he said he was currently practicing celibacy. He said his therapist had suggested celibacy after he had welcomed his 4th child in less than a year. At the time, the public didn't know he had an 8th child on the way with Tyzee. I'm not quite sure how she pronounces her name, so we're going to say Tyzee. We just going to go with that. If y'all know how to say it, drop it in the comments, but we're going to go with Tyzee. But Cannon says his therapist was one of the people he had told privately, which prompted the recommendation for celibacy. So he wrote Nick out a whole prescription like, listen, bro, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to write you out this prescription that says you just need to go home, get in your house, lock your doors, go to bed, and by yourself, because you're doing too much. Doing absolutely too much. I'm curious to know if that doctor ever even had to tell anybody else that before, because I ain't ever heard nothing like that. Like, he's just doing a lot. So during Monday's show, Cannon also said he found out about Tyzee's pregnant before his son, Zen Cannon's death. People reported last year that at 2 months old, Zen had been diagnosed with a rare, fast-growing tumor in his brain. May he rest in peace. I remember when all of that broke, like that was right around the holiday time. So that was, yes, I know, I can only imagine a difficult time for the family, for baby Zen's mom and dad. May baby Zen rest in peace. But I will say, certainly wasn't expecting to learn shortly after learning about the passing of Zen that Zen has a sibling on the way. So back to the article. Quote, my therapist was one of the people who said that I should probably be celibate because I had shared that news that Bree was pregnant. He said on his talk show, as reported by Just Jared, that was the reason why I started my celibacy journey. Back then, I was celibate because I was dealing with this. Cannon said on his talk show last year that he and Zen's mother, ALYSSA Scott, decided not to treat the tumor with chemotherapy. Instead, they focused on Zen's quality of life and happiness. Cannon is also a parent to his 10-year-old twins, Moroccan and Monroe, with his ex-wife, Mariah Carey, his 4-year-old son, Golden, and 11-month-old daughter, Powerful, with Brittany Bell, and his 5th-month-old twin, Zion Zillan, with Abby De La Rosa. So what we can say is that these baby moms that he do have, they're not your straight Black girl. We see that although, he's trying to, build his legacy, have all these kids, create a team, he's definitely selective as far as with what these women look like who carry his children, because in each of the moms, they're all racially ambiguous is what you can say. They may look like they may have some Black in them, like Mariah Carey, or say even baby Zen's mom, but none of the women look straight like they're straight Black. So we're gonna go on a whim and say Nick not really messing with the highly melanin women. He got a type, and it's not a woman that looks anything like me. Let's just go there. So with that being said, to me, it's evident that these women who are allowing themselves to get pregnant by Nick, it's pretty much about just being able to be added to the team and the financial gains from it all, because I don't see anything else that any of these women can get out of this situation. I was listening to him when he was announcing it on his talk show about having a baby. He couldn't even refer to the woman as, how someone might say, yes, my wife, she's expecting, my girlfriend, my fiance. I think he said something like, yes, there's another woman. And it was like the whole disconnect of emotion from it. Like, I think his words was like, there's another woman who's pregnant with my child. And he was like, yeah, I know that sounds kind of funny. I mean, it was just very disturbing. So to even have to do an announcement like that, and then for him to even catch how it just didn't even sound or feel right, just lets you know that he knows this is some mess. So like I said, it's almost like there's some agenda here, like, I don't know, like someone, it's almost even to me giving vibes like, okay, like he's being told, hey, Nick, in order for you to have this or that, I need for you to go out here and procreate and have all these kids and just be out here looking crazy and reckless. I mean, to me, just something seems off about it. It just seems to me, what he doing right now, I'm going to probably go on a limb and say it seems more off than what Future be running around doing. Because to me, Nick Cannon gives more of the vibes of it being like intentional, being a game, versus to me, Future gives more of the vibes of being just reckless behaviors, like that reckless hood street, mentality. I'm gonna have 18 baby mamas. Like, that's what Future gives to me. But Nick Cannon gives to me like he's on a mission. Like, I know exactly what I'm doing, and I have an end game. Like, I don't know. To me, it just feels different to me. I don't know about you, but definitely let me know in the comments what's your thoughts about all of this. Now, the mother of, I guess her name is ALYSSA Scott. That's baby Zen's mom. She's, people have kind of been showing concern for her, given Nick has recently announced baby number 8, not long after sharing with the world of losing, I guess you would call baby number 7. So I'm going to share my screen so we can get into, what's going on with ALYSSA and how she's, feeling about all of this. It's just a sad situation. Like, come on, Nick. Like, to me, he's just not a good look right now for the community. Like, he's just doing the absolute most, excuse me. And it's not a big difference, I guess, between him and Future. But I mean, I just wouldn't have ever thought, like, just even like 8 years ago, 7 years ago, that Nick Cannon would be moving like this in these streets. I guess I just would have held him in just a higher regard, but silly me. So this is from blackenterprise.com. Excuse me. And the article reads, Nick Cannon's other baby mama, ALYSSA Scott, says she's at peace about his 8th baby announcement. So this is ALYSSA and baby Zen, and Nick is in this picture. So let's see. The news comes less than 2 months after the Wild 'N Out creator lost his youngest son, Zen, to brain cancer. Zen's mother, ALYSSA Scott, took to Instagram to tell her followers that she is at peace and will not judge anyone, seemingly directed at Cannon after his baby announcement. I want to thank every single person who has messaged or thought of me over the last course of these last few months. I always say Zen expanded my heart in ways I never thought possible. He filled that space with compassion, knowing I would need that most. It is painful having my son be a part of conversations that aren't in line with his light and legacy. It isn't something I chose for him or myself. It's important for me to let you all know I am centered. I am at peace. I look at everyone's predicament with loving eyes. I will not judge. I will consciously decide what I will participate in. I am surrounded by love. God, my mom, dad, sister, brother, and daughter continue to carry me. Cannon is also still grieving the death of his seventh and youngest child, Zen Scott Cannon. Baby Zen passed away in early December from a malignant brain tumor. He was 5 months old. The multifaceted entertainer who had his son Zen as Cannon with model ALYSSA Scott in June reported that when he was just 2 months old, he started having sinus issues. Cannon explained that his son's head seemed irregularly large, and after getting the Todd examined, the doting parents learned that Zen had a brain tumor and it was cancerous. Zen had to undergo emergency surgery, but the 5-month-old later died. Tycee, his newest baby mama, is the ex-wife of ex-NFL football quarterback Johnny Manziel. The two divorced last November. According to her Instagram page, the 30-year-old is a Jill of all trades. She boasts that she's a model, real estate agent, investor, and business consultant. So wait a minute. So they saying that the two divorced last November. Are we talking about last November as in November 2021? Because looking at the pictures of her bump, it looks like sis is at least about 4 or 5 months pregnant. So November, December, January, February, what? We're 3 months, 2 months into the new year. So what? So did she get pregnant while she was still married to this man, Johnny Manziel? No, they could have been, separated, but that's kind of close. Yeah, that's very close, with the timing, if that divorce was November 2021. But nevertheless, it's a lot going on in the Cannon's world. I'm not, he talking about, he's celibate now. He's been in counseling. Will this be it? I don't know. I don't know if this is it, because he's saying that, sorry about that. Sound like we hear sirens in the background passing by my neighborhood. But he's saying the whole celibacy route came after he learned about the 8th baby been on the way. But, we didn't know at that time the 8th baby was on the way. But he's saying that's kind of what prompted the whole celibacy run and things. Do you all think that that's been working out for him? Do you guys think that Nick actually has been celibate, as he say he has? Like I said, I'm still just concerned about the fact that he's running around impregnating all these women. So that means he's having unprotected sex. Like, that is just a bad. I wonder how Mariah feel about this. I mean, and his kids with Mariah, they're 10. So for mommy to have to say, oh, guess what? You got another sibling on, like, come on now. Like, I would imagine that they're asking questions like, Dad, why are you having so many kids? What, they got to be asking questions. I don't think that, these kids at 10, they're just jumping up for joy every time they're hearing it's another one on the way. Now, Nick may be spinning it to try to get them hyped about the idea of having another sibling, but I'm going to say their first thought is like, okay, it's another one, Because kids aren't idiots. Sometimes adults act like idiots. And in this case, that's my opinion of what's going on with Nick. To me, it's beyond financially what he can do as far as him financially being able to take care of his children. So being there for your children, it's more than the finance. It's the emotional stability as well, the psychological stability. It's not even possible with him just being one man and having, let's just say now he's going to have 7 surviving, kids that are alive in different homes. There's a couple of sets of twins. So we got 2 kids each that are in one home, but the other kids are single kids and they're in the homes by themselves. So I'm not sitting up here believing that Nick's on this world tour going from house to house. I don't think so at all. I wonder what's the radius of where these women live, from one another. How often do the kids even get together? Nick is just doing the most. I think, ALYSSA, she really, as she says, she's just not trying to judge anybody. She's still going through it. And at the same time, I think that she has the attitude that she has as well, is because when these women are hooking up with Nick, they already know that it's not about having a relationship. It's about the babe having a child. So if you already know that, if someone's asking you, oh, what's your feelings about Nick moving on doing this, you're not really going to react like a typical girlfriend would, or, because you already knew the deal. You knew that it wasn't about any of that, even if we, the people, didn't know that. That. So to me, I'm picking up vibes that she already knew that with her and Nick, it wasn't about that at all. It was almost like more transactional, whereas, okay, almost like a surrogacy situation to me. It's like Nick is clearly not connected to these women. It's nothing more than the sexual act. So to me, it's about what he's getting out of it, which is a life, a baby. So with that being said, these women have to start to, think about the value of their lives. Like, am I worth more than just being an incubator for some man's child? Am I worth being a wife, being something more than just a surrogate? Do I bring more value to the table than just my womb? Because Nick, I don't get the impression that he's running around selling these women dreams. It's just about, hey, do you want to be a part of what I'm doing? And these women are like, okay, where do I sign? Because I'm also not trying to believe that these women aren't getting some type of financial benefit from all of this. Because of course, okay, he's going to be, I'm sure none of them have him on like some type of ordered child support. He's there. He's just, taking care of his children based off of whatever agreement he and these women had. And I'm pretty sure for all the women except for Mariah Carey, Nick Cannon has more money than these women. So with that being said, the amount of money that Nick's saying that he can give these women, it's a nice chunk of change. It's more than what they've been able to provide for themselves. Or, if they do got to, have some type of means, or they support themselves, the amount of money that Nick is bringing to the table, that extra is definitely life-changing for them. So, these women, they're not in their feelings about anything because they've had whole conversations. Like, they already know what it's about. So they're not even getting mad or nothing. It's almost like they're just like a one big family. Like, it's pretty much, to me, the only one that I feel that he really felt any way about was Mariah. And that's the only one that he was married to. All the other kids, I honestly don't believe they were children that was like made out of love. It was more so children made from him just consciously saying, I want to have more children. Now, that reason, I don't know. Have any of us ever heard Nick speak on why he's continuing to have children at the rate that he is? Because for his therapist to recommend he becomes celibate, the therapist is privy to some information that we are not. And the therapists have come to notice that, or has likely come to a conclusion that whatever that is psychologically or emotionally going on with Nick, having children is a coping mechanism. So with that being said, the therapist does not view any of this as being healthy, just as many of us don't. So that says a lot. That, to me, this is all saying that Nick Cannon, although physically he may look good, but to me, this says that Nick Cannon really isn't in the best psychological space because of the moves, of what he's doing. Now, since he's quote unquote have become celibate, he may possibly, be on the road to recovery for whatever he's going through. But just from me and just my background when it comes to just mental health and things like that, I'm just picking up that there's something deeper that's going on with Nick. And it's something that he hasn't talked about with the world. Nick is pretty transparent, so I wouldn't be surprised if one day, he didn't put out a book and really talk about what was behind all of that. Although I do not doubt his love for any of his children at all. But what I do doubt is a deep love for any of these mothers outside of Mariah Carey, because I truly feel like Mariah Carey is the only one he's ever loved and likely still love. These other women, they were just needed in the process, because he can't create these children on his own, because I feel like if he could, he would. So it's definitely not about these women. It's at least with, let's just switch over to the rapper Common. Everyone always talks about him, how he doesn't stay in relationships very long, and he hooks up with arguably, good women. He was with Angela Rye, he was with professional player Serena recently. Him and Tiffany Haddish broke up. He's been with Erica Badu. But at least Common's not making babies within these situations. So to me, that still makes a difference, because he knows, I've heard Common speak on just his personal struggles that he feels that may be getting in the way of him actually having successful relationships that lead to marriage. He hasn't brought all these kids into it. I don't think the man has any children. I've never heard talks of any children, but I know these women that I've named, he doesn't have children with these women. So to me, he's been more responsible than Nick. He's been more responsible with Nick. So even the fact that he doesn't even have these children out here, one can lean towards it's a good chance he's using protection, that part. So that's what I want to get on here and talk about, you guys. What's your thoughts about Nick and how he's moving and procreating and making these babies? Do you think that there's something going on that he just hasn't shared with the world as to why he's moving in the way in which he is? Do you think he's going to have more children? This is, he has his 8th child on the way. You think he's going to round it out to 10? And Nick isn't that old. Nick is maybe around 40, 42. So again, he's not the one that has to carry these children. So he can continue to have, procreate and make babies until his last breath, really, to be honest, because it's the woman who has to, carry the child. I hope that's not his agenda. I do hope that while he is telling the truth about being celibate, and he's working on whatever struggles that he has, because at the end of the day, the children are the one who are going to have to. They're going to get the short end of the stick if he's not there to, if he's not emotionally and psychologically there. And I just have this feeling that he's not there in that type of way. I feel like, he tries to see them, but he's not there in a way that I feel like each of the children deserve. Because again, he's only one person, and he is a working man. We see how he's a hardworking man. We see him on, television shows, and he's clearly out there working hard with making babies, that part. So let me know your thoughts. Drop a comment. Please like, share, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know when we go live over here. This is the party. We are the Starlights. I'm a smaller YouTuber. We are growing. I thank you for my new subs. We are on our road, on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and it's just going to go up from there. So drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this. Until the next broadcast, peace.